Good Morning ASEAN ช่วงสายตรงอาเซียน
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing, Yui Kong?
It's a very tiring morning today after a week of sunshine and very hot weather. Today is a rainstorm.
Oh, sunshine.
Yeah, have been sunshine almost 37 degrees every day.
Oh, it's so hot.
Yes, and but today there's a rainstorm and it doesn't seem like the rain is going anywhere until probably later in the day.
So, you are at work or still at home?
Oh, I'm at home. I'm looking at the rain.
Okay, still waiting.
Take some time. Yes, it's very heavy. It's going to be difficult to get out.
Yeah.
Please careful about your health.
This kind of weather, not only difficult to get out, but difficult to get up as well.
Yes.
Well, yes.
And what about the news today?
Oh, yes. The news today is quite new to the people of Hong Kong.
Yeah.
As a new high-speed railway station has been completed finally after so many years, and now the government is pushing for we call that one how do I say that, one place to solve the immigration problems. Now the high-speed railway links Hong Kong and Guangzhou, which is the southern province of China. And the government has been advertising the high-speed railway will be sort of like the Japanese Shinkansen high-speed train that links Hong Kong to the rest of China. And in order to speed up the traveling process, the government proposed that China, the mainland Chinese law enforcement authority, will be given half a floor in the new station in which they will carry out immigration checks. Now, that is different than the current arrangement in the regular trains. In the current arrangement in Hong Kong, people, they do immigration checks from with the Hong Kong authorities on this side of the border. And then once they go past Shenzhen, then they will get off the train and they'll have to do immigration checks with Shenzhen's Chinese authority.
So twice.
That is, yes. So you have to do it twice in two places. And now the government proposed that in order to speed up so that everyone can just board the train and go and travel to anywhere in China, they'll invite Chinese authority to come to Hong Kong and give them jurisdiction to do the immigration checks. Now, it seems like very regular, very ordinary. After all, that is how it works in, say, the Eurostar train in Europe. But it doesn't work quite well in Hong Kong because, as we all know, Hong Kong is run under the one country, two systems agreement, and that Hong Kong law is very different from China. So, for example, you will not be arrested in Hong Kong for criticizing anything about the Communist Party or for calling for different opinion. But in China, such opinion is often stifled. Now, the worry about the Hong Kong people and the opposition is that if you give the Chinese authority a place for them to carry out immigration checks, now, in a legal sense, they will also have legal authority in those areas, which means if the Chinese law enforcement desire, they can actually station people there and arrest whoever they want in Hong Kong, literally, because the station is in Hong Kong.
Yes.
So that has raised a lot of eyebrows and concerns in Hong Kong because we didn't, the people didn't want the Chinese authority to be able to come into the land of the city and to have jurisdiction of any kind. But of course, the government argues that this is too much of a worry, that the Chinese authority have no intention to do such things, and that the new chief executive even go as far to say that if you think that you will be arrested by the Chinese authority, you should simply not take the train.
Yeah.
So that is quite an interesting argument, I will have to say, but it seems that for now, the government is going to be able to muscle its way through the Legislative Council and to get its plan passed.
I see. So it's not so easy, right?
It's not so easy because the people have always argued, saying that we should just keep on doing two checks in two places, which means you get on the train in Hong Kong And then in the first stop in Shenzhen, you get off, you do your checks, get back to the train, and go to wherever you want. But the government has argued that this is impractical, that will compromise the value of the high-speed services, and that is simply inefficient. But the people have found out, actually, as with the case of many high-speed railways in systems around the world, that the station right now connects Hong Kong and Guangzhou. We call it Guangzhou South Station. It's actually in the middle of nowhere. And in order to go back to the city of Guangzhou, people will have to take the Connect subway, which will take you another 40 minutes from the high-speed railway station back to the city center. And they think that it is quite inconvenient. But frankly, that is the case in Japan as well, that a lot of Shinkansen stations are in the middle of nowhere. And you actually, if you want to travel, you do have to take the connecting trains other way around, because high-speed railway stations are so much more bigger than the regular railway stations that they simply require more space. But this underlines the mistrust between the city of Hong Kong and China, and that people simply are not ready for that. They're simply not ready for this kind of integration.
So maybe we have to wait for the law amendment?
Yes. The opposition wants to change it. Well, they want to resume to the ordinary two-place, two-checks custom, but the government has already publicly argued against it. They already said that there is no alternative. This is the only working alternative. You have to take it or no.
Okay.
And if you do not take it, they will not open the railway.
Yes. Hope it will be resolved soon.
Yes. Hopefully.
Okay. So what about the other story?
The other story is about an underlying problem of declining population in Hong Kong. An elementary school in northern Hong Kong have been caught and accused by former teachers, saying that it actually has a lot of ghost students. Ghost students meaning that they only have the registry, but they are not physically there.
Yes.
And this is a measure apparently done by the school management in order to show to the authority that they still have adequate amount of recruitment, so that they will not have to face closure. Now, a lot of Hong Kong schools in the past 20 years have been closed, especially near the border with China, because of a declining birth rate. The birth rate in Hong Kong right now, I believe, is closer to 1.2 children per married couple, and that is far lower than replacement ratio. So a lot of schools, especially elementary schools, have closed because they do not have enough students.
Yes.
Do you have the number of schools that has been closed?
I believe since 1997, they at least have been close to, how to say that? I believe there's at least more than 20 to 30. And the problem stems from the fact that there were not enough students, and the Education Bureau in Hong Kong, they will order the schools to close if they cannot recruit enough students. And so, as a common practice among a lot of schools, they will rather than not dismiss any troubled students, they will rather just keep them, keep the registry in the school record, so that they can appear, at least on record, that they have enough students. While they actually, of course, they will have to recruit actual students to attend to the school, but in order to make the size bigger than it actually is,
Yes.
they keep a ghost registry. Now, this school is exposed, and while at the same time, the school principal is being accused of many malpractices, and including firing teachers without the proper procedures and so on. And the Education Bureau has promised that it will put the school under investigation. But I believe this has exposed a much bigger problem in Hong Kong, which is the education system in the past 20 years have changed a lot in the name of integration. So before, we have schools that can cater to special students of special needs, such as the disabled and so on. But the government in the past 20 years, they have closed down all those schools. They, instead, they said that there should be no schools designed only for the disabled. They instead make regular schools to take on disabled students and ask them to expand their resources to incorporate them. Now, the simple fact is that ordinary schools are not equipped to do that.
Yeah.
They are not equipped to do that. So what happened? What happened is that they cannot attend to the needs of these students. The students feel like they are isolated and they are alienated, so they don't go to school. They don't go to school, and quite ironically, the school cannot take them out because it's not allowed under the Education Bureau's guidance. So it has caused them to simply keep them in the registry, and it's not doing any people any good because the students are not going to school. The school cannot do anything about them. They cannot help them. And the Education Bureau they just want to see the numbers. They want to see that everyone is admitted and that nobody is being kicked out. And it has created so many problems and has crystallized in today's in this scandal, which is this school simply they should have been closed long time ago. They do not have enough students. They don't have enough local recruitment. They have to recruit mostly from the north, from Shenzhen. But of course, it stems from a problem. If they close, then a lot of teachers will lose their jobs, and they don't want to do that.
So it seems like that this problem might lead to the reduced standard of education, right?
Well, yes, it will probably lead to reduce the standard in education. But as in the case of many Chinese cities, Hong Kong parents are exam-driven and scores-driven, and so a lot of schools they are very aware of that. And so on one hand they recruit, and at the same time they try to pump up the schools, and they try to do a lot of drills every day to students so that they score higher in the test. But today's case simply shows that there is not enough students for some schools to do that anymore. And as schools struggle to survive, they have to take the dangerous road, which is they lie. And now they're caught. And I believe there are a lot more schools doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Whether they're caught or not.
Just not yet, maybe.
Just not yet.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for joining today.
Yes, thank you for having me today.
Goodbye. Have a nice day, Yui Kong.
Yes, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
ค่ะผู้สื่อข่าวจากฮ่องกงนะคะคุณยุยกงวันนี้มีข่าวที่น่าสนใจจากฮ่องกงมาให้ฟังกัน2 เรื่องนะคะ
ค่ะเรื่องแรกก็เป็นเรื่องของรถไฟความเร็วสูงระหว่างฮ่องกงกับกวางโจวนะคะก็คือจะเชื่อมฮ่องกงกับจีนนั่นแหละแต่ว่ามีปัญหาในเรื่องของการตรวจคนเข้าเมืองนะคะ immigration check เนี่ยซึ่งคือแนวทางปฏิบัติเดิมทีก็คือว่าตรวจ2ประเทศเลยขึ้นรถไฟก็ตรวจที่ฮ่องกงไปถึงที่จีนก็ตรวจที่จีนอีกทีนึงซึ่งทางรัฐบาลของฮ่องกงเองเนี่ยก็พยายามที่จะทำให้มันสะดวกมากยิ่งขึ้นคือเขาก็เสนอลด
ความซ้ำซ้อน
อย่าไปซ้ำซ้อนกันเลยนะคะตรวจที่ใดที่1เธออาจจะให้มีเจ้าหน้าที่ของจีนเนี่ยเข้ามาที่ immigration ของฮ่องกงเพื่อจะตรวจตั้งแต่แรกเลยอะไรอย่างนี้แต่ไม่ง่ายนะสิ
ใช่ก็ยังเป็นปัญหาเกี่ยวกับเรื่องของการบังคับใช้กฎหมายเกี่ยวกับเรื่องของตม.กันอยู่นะคะส่วนอีกเรื่องนึงเป็นเรื่องของการศึกษาค่ะมีโรงเรียนประถมเล็กๆแห่งหนึ่งนะคะทางตอนเหนือของฮ่องกงมีอดีตครูไปกล่าวหาว่าโรงเรียนนี้ไปสร้าง ghost student ก็คือไปสร้างนักเรียนผีคือจริงๆแล้วไม่มีนักเรียนอยู่จริงนะคะแต่ว่าไปสร้างว่ามีอยู่จริงเพื่อที่จะไปของบประมาณจากรัฐบาลนะคะคือจริงไม่จริงไม่รู้ละแต่ว่าสำนักงานการศึกษาของฮ่องกงก็กำลังสอบสวนเรื่องนี้อยู่ค่ะแล้วก็ปัญหาหนึ่งที่มันเป็นปัญหาใหญ่ทางการศึกษาของฮ่องกงในขณะนี้ก็คือว่ามีโรงเรียนประถมหลายแห่งนะคะก็ต้องปิดไปเพราะว่าไม่มีนักเรียนไปสมัครเรียนนะคะ
คลื่นข่าว 100.5 MCOT News Network